You are listening to Trinity Topics. Hello, my name is Jeff March.
And Emily Main.
Here we are with our third episode of Trinity Topics. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in over the past couple of weeks, and welcome to our new listeners who are joining us today. We are so excited to be here again with you this evening to bring you this episode. Our guests this evening are Charlene Winsor and Emily George.
Just in case this is your first time listening to our broadcast, we are a talk show that aims to bring you information about practically anything and everything community, whether it be local news, public issues, community events, or entertainment. We are here to talk to you and have your voice heard.
To submit a news idea or something you would like to have on our show, or maybe you have a suggestion for a future broadcast idea, please get in touch with us through our Facebook page or via email at trinitytopics@hotmail.com.
It is Teacher Appreciation Week here in Newfoundland, Labrador, and we would like to send a huge shout out to all of you teachers out there who are working every day to develop the minds of our youth for generations to come. A teacher takes a hand, opens a mind, and touches a heart.
So Emily, do you have any fond and loving memories of when you were growing up and a teacher who led you to have a good experience in school?
Let me think, Jeff. I can remember growing up and finding all my teachers were very positive, and what I really found was a teacher in grade 4 who was really entertaining and brought a lot of entertainment in the classroom. And I found that really got the attention of all the students, including myself. And we were all really sad that the following year he left that school. And I can remember as a young student feeling the impact of losing such a wonderful teacher in that school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very touching story, actually. For me, I kind of think of a few experiences. I've had some pretty funny ones.
Do tell.
Yeah, I took physics in high school. I'm not really much for physics. I didn't do very well in the course. And I actually begged my teacher halfway through the term if I could drop out and take something else because I was afraid that it would have a negative impact on my transcript. But anyway, but there is one thing that I do remember from his class, and it was a particular time when he was trying to teach us uniform motion. Look at me, I remember the term because of what he did. He stood up on a chair that had wheels on it and started to make motions to, show us, uniform motion is going in one direction at a same speed, I guess. And in his attempt to teach that to the class, he fell down on a bunch of computers and got up and laughed at it and said, "Hey, that's what uniform motion is, kids." And it was an interesting day. Everyone was laughing a lot. So
that was creativity turned into humor.
Creativity turned into humor, yeah. Or an accident that was waiting to happen that just wasn't seen. So we'll just say that.
That's a fantastic experience.
Yeah, we've had a few.
And I can also say with the girls, I've had really good experiences where they've been involved with the schools and the teachers have been very excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are some very stellar teachers out there that go well beyond
for sure
the expectation and takes a lot of time out of their own scheduled lives.
And I don't know if they realize, and I've told many teachers, even from Ackerman, how much my girls still talk about the great teachers from Ackerman.
Yeah.
And they don't realize what they do to these students. They take with them in years to come.
Right. So,
hey, teachers, you're doing a great job.
Yes, congratulations. And
for sure.
We hope you guys enjoy your week.
For sure.
So Valentine's Day is on Tuesday, and on our next week's episode, we are going to be playing a game with a couple who will be trying to determine who knows their Valentine the best. And we have some gift cards from Tara's Cafe and Kitchen up for grabs for coming on our show and talking with us and playing our game. So stay tuned for our episode next week to get on that topic. But tonight, I have a little quiz here for you, Emily.
Uh-oh.
Yes, be very afraid. Okay, so who was Saint Valentine? So this is a multiple choice question. Was he a member of the Roman Senate, an emperor of Rome, a Roman martyr, or a soldier?
Roman martyr?
You are actually very correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, a temple priest who was beheaded near Rome. This is who he is. For helping Christian couples get married.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can remember reading something way back when about that.
That's interesting, hey?
Yeah.
How many Valentine's Day cards are sold each year in the U.S.?
Good grief. Is that an ABCD?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm really not good at this, obviously. 50 million, 500 million, or 1 billion?
I'm going to say 1 billion.
Again, you are correct.
Woo!
Look at you go.
Yay.
Okay, so believe it or not, Valentine's Day cards are the second most popular day. Well, yeah, so Valentine's Day is the second most popular day of the year for sending cards. And it's next to Christmas, obviously.
Wow.
Approximately 1 billion are exchanged in the U.S. alone. And out of all of the people who buy flowers on Valentine's Day, what do you think the percentage is for men versus women? Just an estimate.
Buying flowers?
Yeah, just as an estimate.
Obviously, men more than women buy flowers.
Yes.
I would think. I would say 70-30.
You're very close again.
Really?
You're totally cheating right now.
I am not.
You are totally cheating.
I'm using my instincts.
Keep your eyes to your own paper. Men are 73%.
Oh my God.
Yes, and women are 27%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to go on some con.
You need to go on a real game show where there's actual real prizes.
Oh my goodness. I'm just like trusting my gut and going with whatever I feel is right.
So, where is Valentine's Day not celebrated?
Wow.
So, France, the UK, Germany, or the United States?
I would say Germany.
That's actually a pretty good guess. Valentine's Day is actually celebrated through all of those countries, but Europe doesn't celebrate it as commercially as what we do here in the U.S.
Okay.
And Germany is actually probably newest on that list to introduce it in their country.
So that was like a trick question.
It was
Jeff?
a trick question, yeah.
Yeah.
But you did well.
I did do well. Thank you.
It being the newest and all.
Yeah.
So here's my last question for you.
Uh-oh.
When were the first commercial Valentine's Day cards sold? So we have 545 AD. That's a really long time ago.
Yeah, like.
That's like antiquity. 16th century. 17th century or 1920.
I'm going to say 16th century.
Commercially sold in the 17th century, actually, but written cards were popular in the 16th century in England.
Mm-hmm.
So,
see?
but they were commercially sold in the 17th.
But I was thinking when they'd be getting on the go.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that when this became a thing, I don't know exactly when it became a thing for Valentine's Day. I didn't do my research, obviously. But the 16th century, I think it's really cool how when they started doing cards, they would handwrite their own cards.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's very cool. And now going into the age of technology, well, we are in the age of technology, well beyond technology.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of unfortunate that we're starting to lose that, don't you think?
Yes, so Jeff, I have a big question for you.
Yes.
Have you written your own card to Vanessa?
I have in the past, not this year yet because, well, we're on baby mode. So
True.
Yeah, we don't really generally celebrate Valentine's Day that much.
Neither do we.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest.
But there was one year actually that Vanessa wanted to get a puppy really bad, which was Twix. And I said, no, we're not getting a dog. We can't get a dog. We live two busy lives that, we can't handle having a puppy in our house.
For sure.
And I caved and I made her a Valentine's Day card and drew a little picture of a puppy and yeah.
What a nice moment that was.
Yeah, she cried.
Of course.
But that's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah. So how about you? Do you have any cards or anything?
I've got lots of cards that Brian gave me.
Right.
I'm sure I've written stuff for him. Lower percentage, I'm sure. But yeah, I've got lots of cards and stuff that Brian have wrote to me. But Brian's thing, when he goes back to work, his little traditional thing is to write a little note and hide it somewhere in the kitchen for me to find.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's really special. But Valentine's Day itself is not something that we really acknowledge.
Right.
But
I mean, it's just a day when you think of it. You're
is.
together all the time.
It is.
You know.
And I don't think it's just for couples. I think it's for anyone that you love.
Right. Yeah. What about your kids? Do they fill out Valentines and give them to their friends?
Used to years ago.
That used to be a thing in school, getting all crafty and making your Valentine's mailbox. Man, I miss those days.
But you know, I can remember being so excited for that.
And sending them to your crush and being like,
right?
Secret admirer and all that stuff. Yeah. Loved it.
I remember doing that. It was so much fun.
I looked for some retro Valentine's Day cards for my parents there a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember, like, you used to be able to get these really big books where they were perforated, and you used to be able to punch them out of the book, and they were all like really old-fashioned pictures and everything. Yeah, I was trying to find some of those a couple of years ago to give to my parents because they were talking about when they were kids and how much they really enjoyed sending Valentines to their friends and the different things that they used to do by, like, they would go to someone's house with a Valentine and they would open up the door or knock on the door and throw it in and then run away. So it was kind of funny to listen to that. And, you know, my mother, she used to say that she used to do it all the time, every year. That's what they would do as soon as they got out of school. They would go and have their Valentines ready, and those that they wanted to send, they would literally go to their houses and knock on their door, throw in the Valentine, and then run away. There was no conversation. There was nothing.
What awesome stories. I think that's an idea, Jeff, for later on to do.
Yes, to have some people come on with some, you know.
Yes, because, I mean, think about it. I mean, the elderly have so many awesome stories.
Now, Emily, don't be calling my parents elderly. No, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, there are so many things that are different. Yeah, in those generations, is so much different than what it is now, and they used to do so many different things.
And I love when I get together with anyone that's in an older generation, and they're telling me stories about when they were kids, and it's something that we don't want to lose.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think we should consider that for a later show.
Sounds good. So without further ado, this evening, as already mentioned, we have Charlene Winsor and Emily George. And Charlene will be talking about her movie blog that she has recently started. Emily George will be talking about her YouTube channel and some of her music likes, as well as we will have a musical selection from her at the end of our show, and we hope you enjoy it. Whitburn native Charlene Winsor has recently started a blog where she discusses her interest in and gives reviews of classic films. A love that she says started about 8 years ago after she bought a book called 501 Must-See Movies. Thank you so much for joining us today, Charlene.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Charlene, I have been following your blog since you started and find that with each blog you write, you seem to make these movies come to life in my imagination. You've got.
Oh, that's great.
You're proving to be a very talented writer, and I just wanted to say it's such an honor to read your blog.
Oh, thank you so much. I love to hear things like that.
You're welcome. Can you tell us a bit about how your interest in classic film started?
Yeah. So, I mean, as you said, I was kind of intrigued after seeing this book at Coles, and I thought maybe I should give this a try. And I remember actually in undergrad, at the beginning of every class I would have, this was in a biochemistry class, a professor we had, he would always post a picture of an old movie at the beginning of class, and he wanted us to guess what it was. And me being, you know, kind of having a competitive streak, I wanted to make sure I got the answer right, but I didn't a lot of time.
So it was a game.
Pardon?
It was a game.
It was a game, yeah. So, you know, I saw this book, I said, well, maybe I should, you know, start watching these movies, and there were a few that I delved into. For example, I watched Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock, another one called A Half Moon One Night that was directed by Frank Capra, and there's another one that I watched as well called Random Harvest. I can't quite remember the director, but those movies in particular, I thought, wow, these are quite stellar, and I need to continue on this path of exploring and discovering more classic film. And the more I delved into it, the more I learned about it, and the more I really, really loved this art form, and an art form that not many people today are really familiar with.
Oh, absolutely. As we're all consumed with much of pop culture. And
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
That's right.
Yeah.
Charlene, so what do you feel makes a good classic film?
I think definitely the hallmark of a good film in general is a well-written story, and definitely one that's relatable with the audience. I feel that a lot of classic films had to rely on that as well as acting to convey that story, because there was very limited technology back years and years ago for people to use that in film as their particular focus. And a lot of that's being done today, and I feel that that really takes away from the true essence of a good film, which is its storytelling.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have a favorite film?
Yes, I do. It's really difficult to pick because, I watch so many, and there's always good qualities to a lot of films. But my favorite film is Forrest Gump. And the reason why, I think, he's a very endearing character. I'm not sure if you've seen it before, but he's very endearing, and he just finds himself in these random, very historical events. So I find that story itself really, really amusing.
Sure.
And, and the relationships that, he develops with Jenny and Lieutenant Dan and Bubba, like, they're very intricate, close-knit relationships, and I really like how the film explores that. But on top of that, it was definitely really innovative in its technology and incorporating, for example, some scenes with, President Kennedy and President Nixon, President Johnson, incorporating them into Forrest's world. So it's definitely my favorite movie for many, many reasons.
And interestingly enough, my daughter just covered that film in school.
Oh, nice. Also, so she watched it in school?
She watched it in school, and she loved it so much, she had my other daughter watch it, and they fell in love with it.
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
I found it so interesting how you brought up Forrest Gump actually as well, and I was expecting something much older.
Yeah, there's definitely older ones that I love as well, but I mean, Forrest definitely holds a special place in my heart.
Absolutely.
And many movies can take that away or take that place. So.
Perfect. So, what do you think about the evolution of film? So you mentioned talking about technology and themes and motives. So what do you think about the evolution of the film in respect to the silent era compared to today's film?
I think, with the silent era, like I was saying previously, but especially that time, you had no sound, and you really had to rely on really captivating visuals, most of the time in black and white, in order to convey the story and also to allow the audience to be engaged as well. And, a lot of times when silent films were came out in the theater, there would be live music that would be playing, and you definitely don't get that today. So they definitely had limited resources as well, but they really utilized their storytelling to greatest capacity. And I think, once sound came in, people were allowed to explore, sometimes more intricate stories through talking. And obviously, there have not been many silent films produced as of late. The most recent one I can think of was The Artist, which won Best Picture, I think, at the Oscars in 2011. I definitely think, the more technology and more innovation that's been invented and developed over time, that's kind of allowed films to shift to sometimes to their detriment in their storytelling and their acting, but other times, such as, Pixar films, DreamWorks films, like Toy Story and Up, stories are so captivating, but that type of technology obviously wasn't around during the silent era, and they were able to create a new art form that engaged so many people of so many different ages.
For sure.
So does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I find that the silent era, it relied a lot on emotion and everything to convey what they were trying to tell.
You have covered films from all over the world. Where do you think the best films come from?
That's really a difficult question because they each have their own quality, and I think different films from countries, say outside the U.S., which we're so used to seeing, they definitely incorporate their own culture as well. So it's really, interesting exploring their worlds. I've been watching a lot of Japanese films of late, and there are so many fabulous directors that have come from Japan. One in particular, his name was Akira Kurosawa, and he directed a lot of films that were related to, medieval Japan and the samurai world, and it's really interesting to learn more about that part of history through his films, as well as many other directors. And actually, it's really hard to pick like a favorite foreign film, but he directed one called Ikiru, which translated to English means to live, in 1952, and it's basically about a man who has been working a desk job for 30-plus years, doesn't find it fulfilling, and is diagnosed with a terminal illness, and then decides that he has to do something of value with his life, with the time that he has left. So it's very sad, but it's also a very beautiful story as well. So, Akira Kurosawa, as well as many other directors, I feel, makes Japan a very important part of foreign cinema.
Charlene, I do have to say that I love how each of your blog posts starts with a description of the theme of the movie and gives you a sense of what thoughts you might have while watching it.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. My approach is that I want to write something that I feel will, A, intrigue someone to watch that particular movie, but also, B, be relatable to people as well.
Yes, I noticed.
I feel that, movies, they definitely stir up a lot of emotions in us because a lot of the characters are going through things that we are as well. So usually what I do is, I'll pick out a movie I've watched recently. Sometimes I might have to look at the synopsis again just to refresh my memory with some details. And I'll kind of jot down like different themes that I thought were important and relevant in that movie. And then I'll try to start off with an introduction that, again, is quite broad, but might get you intrigued to watch that particular movie.
I find that you have a very very good ability to narrow it down to make it very relatable within your first few opening sentences. So it's a very interesting writing process or approach.
Yeah, ever since I really started watching classic film, is try to figure out what's the significance of the title. So then I'll talk about that as well, and then kind of bring it back to, okay, well, why is this important to the movie, but why is this important to the viewers as well?
So the online world is all about networking and making connections. So how has your blog been received online, and have you made any connections with people through your blog?
The content of my blog is very, it's directed at a very specific audience. So that's been a bit challenging as well, trying to target, fellow classic film lovers as well as people who love foreign cinema. But I have received, good feedback from people who have been blogging for a longer period of time. And also a little over last month, I was contacted by an online magazine editor who asked me to write monthly movie reviews for that magazine.
That's amazing.
So I've definitely made some connections so far, and I'm just starting myself, I feel, right? So there's still lots of opportunity.
But you can see the growth of it all in just such a short period of time is amazing. Really good job.
Oh, thanks.
For someone who may be interested in blogging, what advice would you give someone who is either just starting up or wanting to start a blog?
Myself, like I said, I just started blogging a little over 2 months ago, so I'm still very new myself, and I'm trying to navigate the waters, so to say. But what I have learned is that, your content should be something that you really love and you're really passionate about, and that will definitely shine through. Time and time again, when I read about, creating a successful blog, the content is number one. And then I also think that, again, like Jeff was saying, making connections with people who you think will enjoy your blog. So, for example, going on Reddit or starting an account on Tumblr or different social media sites like that can definitely be a way to get your blog out there. So those are some of the starting tools, and there's a lot of websites online that definitely talk about different means to expand your blog and get more, readership. And I've definitely found that valuable myself. So anybody starting out, they can definitely avail of those websites as well.
That's excellent. So Charlene, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Oh, no problem.
Would you like to give our listeners some information about how to get in touch with you or to visit your blog?
Okay, yeah, sure. My blog name is Charlene's Mostly Classic Movie Reviews, and the URL is Char's Movie Reviews .wordpress.com. As well, I have a Facebook page with the title of my blog, so Charlene's Mostly Classic Movie Reviews, and I post my blogs on that as well. And on the blog page itself, there is a contact link, so you can definitely contact me through there. If you have any questions about any particular films that you're interested in watching, or if you want me to write about a particular one, please feel free to send that on, and you can also contact me through Facebook as well.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you again so much for joining us, and
thank you.
Good luck with your blog, and we wish you all the best.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Emily George is a first-year student at Memorial University, where she plans to major in psychology. Music is one of her passions. She plays piano, guitar, ukulele, and she has the voice of an angel. She has become a YouTube personality on her personal channel where she posts song covers, and she has gained over 700 subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us today, Emily.
Thank you for having me.
Emily, I have to tell you that listening to you on your channel is like a breath of fresh air. Your voice is so soothing and seriously transports me into a dreamland. You have such a raw and beautiful talent. Good for you.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a bit about your music background?
Okay. Well, I grew up in a very musical household. When I was in elementary school, my mother was actually my music teacher for a while, so that was pretty cool. And when I was 6 years old, she had started teaching my sister and I how to play the piano. So I guess between that and the fact that whenever my uncle would visit, he would almost always have his fiddle in hand, was what had really sparked my interest, because I was surrounded by music in my family from such a young age.
So your love of music is very familial. It comes from your family.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And how long have you been playing and singing?
I've been singing and playing the piano along with a few other instruments ever since I was in elementary school. But it wasn't until the end of high school that I started to teach myself how to play the guitar, which is an instrument that I use a lot now that I know how to play it.
Good for you.
Do you play any other instruments? I know, like, we only said that you play the piano, guitar, and ukulele. Were there any other instruments that you play?
Yeah, I played the trumpet from 4th grade until I finished high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that a hard one to play?
It takes a lot of lung capacity, I guess.
Yeah, because I remember...
But it's not too difficult.
Yeah.
I remember watching people playing that, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
So, Emily, what genre of music do you listen to most?
This has always been a difficult question for me to answer.
It always is for everyone, I think.
A lot of different bands and artists from a lot of different genres. However, recently I find myself listening to a lot of Billy Joel and the Smiths.
Oh, wow.
As well as this band that I discovered in the past month called Pine Grove. And they have this alternative country and indie rock sound, which I find really interesting. So if you like that, then you should check them out.
So you would find it hard to narrow it down to your favorite?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, Emily, when did you first set up your YouTube channel?
I made my YouTube account back in 2013, but that was just as like a place to create different music playlists for myself.
Okay.
It wasn't until 2015 that I'd actually started to upload videos to my channel.
Okay, so you've been doing it for a little while, hey?
Yeah.
And we said that you had over 700 subscribers. Was it hard to obtain that amount, or did you find what kind of things did you do to get that many?
Well, because I didn't start uploading until it was back in 2015 that I was uploading. Obviously, when you're starting out, it's kind of hard because you don't have a big following.
Right.
But I found that this past year was when I really started to kind of post more regularly, I guess. And as I started to do that, the more people started to subscribe. So I guess as I started to, put more time into it, people noticed that. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you find that you face many challenges while you're filming?
Okay, so usually I only post song covers. I do post some poetry, but my main issue when recording a cover is that my dog will run into the area that I'm filming. With my microphone, it picks up sounds really easily, so if there's any background noise in the house, it can be easily heard on the recording. So usually I wait until I'm alone in the house to record. But sometimes I'll have to stop mid-recording, not because I messed up, but because I can hear my dog walking around the house, and I know that'll be in the audio, which I don't want.
Yeah, for sure. I find that with my son, actually. He likes to walk in every so often whenever I'm doing a video, and sometimes you can hear him playing in the background or actually visually see him on the video. So, yeah, I completely understand.
Did you find it difficult to post your very first video?
The first video that I uploaded to my channel was a video that I'd made to raise awareness about the impacts of bullying. At the time, I was very nervous about uploading it for everyone to see.
For sure.
But at the same time, I was also very excited because it was something that I was deeply passionate about, and I wanted nothing more than to just get my message heard.
And that was a great message you put out there.
So, Emily, over Christmas break, you filmed a video that features you and another young girl from the UK, Lizzie, where you both do a duet. Can you tell us a bit about that experience and how it came about?
Yeah, so after I'd started to gain a small following on my channel, I had a subscriber named Lizzie who I noticed also posted covers and original songs in a similar style to what I was creating on my channel. From there, we both supported each other whenever the other would upload a new song, which I thought was really nice. And this past fall, I had received a message from her asking if I would like to do a duet with her over Christmas and if that would be okay, to which, of course, I replied that I would love to, and that's kind of how that became a reality.
Right, and the name of the song is What Are You Doing New Year's Eve, and it was very beautiful. Your voices blended so nice. My favorite part of the video was actually watching you both side by side in the screen division, and hearing the difference with your accents. I mean, you would say chance and she would say chance, and yeah, it was very cute. It's amazing and adds such a different spin and touch to the song. It's very lovely. Were there any challenges while recording to help make the voices sound the same, or technical challenges with her being so far away?
So the main challenge with this recording, because we lived in different parts of the world, was getting the audio to sync together smoothly.
Right.
So what we did was I recorded the piano instrumental track and my vocals for the part that I was singing, and I sent that to Lizzie, where she then recorded her parts over my track and then sent me the file of her singing her part, and then I just put them together. It sounds confusing, but it worked together okay in the end.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, so you must record the audio first and then the video after, do you?
No, I record, I would set up my camera along with, my microphone and everything, and I record the video the same time that I record my audio.
Okay.
So, the video syncs okay. I just, the issue with this one was making sure that her audio synced with mine.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense. So, Emily, what comes next for you?
Right now, since I'm working on finishing up my first year at university, I don't have much free time, but I can say that that I'm in the process of working on a little project with a friend for a spoken word poem that I wrote a few months ago. And in terms of music, I'm hoping over the summer to possibly work on getting some original songs uploaded, so I guess that's something exciting to look forward to.
That's very exciting to look forward to. Would you like to give our listeners information about how to find your channel and to get in contact with you?
Of course. To find my covers, you can search on YouTube the channel name Emily G Music 061, or you could simply just type in Emily George, and I should be one of the first accounts to appear.
You are actually the first.
Yay!
I will confirm she is the first. Emily George is also our musical guest this week. Here she is singing her cover of Use Somebody by Kings of Leon.
You know that I could use somebody. You know that I could use somebody. Someone like you, and all you know, and how you speak. Countless lovers under cover of the street. You know that I could use somebody. You know that I could use somebody. Someone like you. Someone like you. Off in the night while you live it up, I'm off to sleep, waging wars to shape the poet and the beat. I hope it's gonna make you notice. I hope it's gonna make you notice. Someone like me, whoa, whoa. Someone like me, whoa, whoa. I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
So this concludes our third episode of Trinity Topics, and we would like to thank you for tuning in this evening. I can't believe it's been 3 weeks already.
I know, my goodness, time has gone so fast.
It has, and we've learned so much about so many different people in this area.
We have, and I feel very lucky for that. Eh?
Absolutely. And this show is completely all about promoting our area and getting people on that want to talk about practically anything and everything, as we always say at the beginning of our show.
Indeed.
And we would like to invite anyone who is listening right now, if they would like to come on and talk about their events or talk about their fundraising activities or talk about something news-related, business-related. We would love to hear from you, and you can get in touch with us via our Facebook page or email at trinitytopics@hotmail.com.
We would like to thank our guests, Charlene Winsor and Emily George, for coming on to our show. And we'd like to thank Emily George for her music selection. As well, all online links to our guests are listed below.
And that's a very important thing to have on our videos, as well as those links, because it enables our listeners to get in touch with these guests and
For sure.
and become followers as well. Very, very well. Such a good means to promote them. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
And Jeff,
Yes.
I did not cheat.
You did not cheat. Yeah, right.
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. You cheated.
I'm just throwing that in
Okay, ciao.
there. Ciao.